This is the iPad that you need to buy if you're a student. Yes, today I'm going to help you decide which iPad that you need to buy if you're a student, because reality is there's a lot of iPads in the lineup right now. We're gonna go over one by one, and at the end of the video, I'll tell you which iPad that you need to buy depending on your budget or depending on your necessity. Let's start off with the most budget option, the iPad 10th generation. This iPad was released in 2022, and it's basically suitable for everyday tasks and basic usage. Its key features are the A14 Bionic chip and its 10.9-inch liquid retina display. The display looks pretty good, the colors are vivid, but the only problem with it is that it's not a laminated display, which basically means that there's a tiny gap between the actual glass and the display. Is it the worst thing in the world? No, but you can definitely see it. And once you use an iPad Pro or an iPad Air, you really can't unsee it. This iPad is limited to 4 gigs of RAM and 256 gigabytes of storage. So if you're in need of more storage, this iPad might not be for you. The battery life is pretty decent. It reaches up to 10 hours of basic web browsing. In terms of accessories, it's compatible with the first generation Apple Pencil and the Apple Pencil USB-C, which are the most budget and the worst Apple Pencils. But at the end of the day, an Apple Pencil is meant to take notes, and obviously all the Apple Pencils out there, no matter how expensive or how cheap any of them are, they all have pixel precision. So I mean, if you just wanted to take notes, it should obviously be fine. It's amazing to do all of that. In terms of the keyboard, it's compatible with a Magic Folio keyboard. It's got this two-piece design, which is really useful to actually type in your lap. Since you can actually detach the keyboard from the actual case, you can use this little kickstand to watch content. The iPad 10 is also the most colorful iPad of the entire lineup. It comes in stunning, vibrant colors. So in conclusion, this iPad is ideal if you're really in a budget and you can't afford the more expensive one. This is by far not a bad option. It's got a 10.9-inch display, which is basically the standards for iPad, so it's a pretty good size. So if you want a smaller iPad, that's where the iPad mini comes in. The iPad mini was released back in 2021. Now, who is the iPad mini for? Well, it's for those people that just want a small form factor. The iPad mini is probably one of my favorite iPads in the lineup because it literally fits in most of my jacket pockets. Now, this is an 8.3-inch display. Now, you might be asking, isn't an iPhone 15 Pro Max pretty much almost the same size as an iPad mini? Why would I want such a small iPad? Now, this iPad is stellar at portability, as I said, making gaming and things like reading a joy, because reading on an 11-inch or a 13-inch iPad is not comfortable. But with an iPad mini, with an iPad that you can literally hold in one hand, it changes everything. Now, since this video is oriented for students, should students buy an iPad mini? Now look, when I was in college, I actually used my iPad mini to take notes, and my experience with it was quite good. Sure, sometimes I needed more space, but the versatility that I could just bring it anywhere I wanted to, it's an iPad that basically motivates you so much to actually take it to more places. This display is laminated, which is definitely welcome, and the battery life reaches up to 10 hours of battery life as well. The worst part about an iPad mini for students is that it doesn't have a keyboard. You can actually pick up Amazon keywords. I've actually got a friend, Alberto Bermejo, if you're watching this, hello, that actually uses his iPad mini with a keyboard. I'm personally not a big fan of it, but he uses it, and I guess he loves it. So in conclusion, who's an iPad mini for? If you want an iPad that fits anywhere, that is super portable, that literally fits in your hand, the iPad mini might be for you. But probably the iPad that most people want to buy is the iPad Air. And at the end of the video, I'll tell you if it's actually meant for you or not, because before, we've still got a lot to talk about. Now, the iPad Air was released this year in 2024, and the magic thing about it is that it now comes in two sizes, the 11-inch and the 13-inch version. It comes with a stunning liquid retina display, it comes with an 8-core GPU, and it's got the beast of an M2 chip. It's got USB-C and has the smart connector, meaning that you can connect its Magic Keyboard with it. The Magic Keyboard is an amazing accessory that basically transforms your iPad into a laptop. A keyboard that not only has an actual keyboard, but you actually have a trackpad. And having a trackpad on an iPad changes everything, especially if you're a student. Because if you don't have a trackpad, if you don't have a mouse with your iPad and you actually want to write documents, for example, actually going and selecting a word or actually selecting a specific paragraph with an iPad without a trackpad is a mess, but with the trackpad, it solves everything. In terms of accessories, you have 2 Apple Pencils compatible with it. You've got the brand new Apple Pencil Pro and Apple Pencil USB-C. The Apple Pencil Pro has a lot of really nice features that for students, I'm sure you can actually find it really useful. If you pinch on it, you're gonna get your tool palette, so you can actually choose between the highlighter tool or the pencil tool or maybe the eraser tool. If you double tap on your Apple Pencil Pro, you can actually switch quickly between the eraser and the pencil tool. You've also got Find My support, so if you actually drop your Apple Pencil in your classroom, you can actually find it. I'll tell you at the end why you might or why you might not want an iPad Air, because Apple this year also released the brand new iPad Pro. The iPad Pros also come with the 11-inch and 13-inch versions. They pack the M4 chip. They're the thinnest Apple device Apple has ever made. I mean, you just gotta see it in person to be mind blown at it. The 11-inch iPad Pro is currently my daily driver. It's the iPad that I use every single day. The advantages of an iPad Pro instead of an iPad Air are: 1, you've got Face ID instead of Touch ID, which is quite a big deal, especially if you're a student. If you want to unlock your iPad, on the iPad Pro, you basically just swipe up, it recognizes your face, and you just basically swipe and you're in. Instead, with an iPad Air, you have to put your fingerprint, and then it's not the same. It's not a massive deal, but it is very nice to have. The iPad Pro also has the 120 Hz display that makes it very smooth to open apps, and the entire UI, the entire iPad just feels way much more smoother. You've also got the Liquid Retina XDR display. It's basically an OLED display that turns the blacks super black, and it looks so incredibly good. It's truly a pro display. That's why the iPad Pro is called Pro. And also, if you've got a Pro iPad, you've also got a Pro chipset, and that's the M4 chip, which is the first ever of an Apple product. Now, if you're a student, you probably do not need this amount of power, but it is still very nice to have. You've got a USB-C and Thunderbolt 4 port, so you can actually transfer data to the iPad directly. You can have full monitor support on an iPad Pro as well, and everything just feels super fast, super snappy. You've got the new Magic Keyboard in terms of accessories that is made out of aluminum, the best material yet. Apple Pencil Pro. You've basically got so much on an iPad Pro, but let's land the final question. Out of all of them, which one should you buy? Now, the answer is quite simple. If you're truly in a budget, the iPad 10 is ideal for you. If you want a small iPad, get the iPad mini. But the true, perfect, top-notch iPad for students in 2024, in my opinion, is the iPad Air. For me, it's not justifiable that a student should buy an iPad Pro, because honestly, a student will not use all the Pro features. If you're studying a creative degree and maybe you want all that power, go for it, you know, spend all the money you want, but that's my answer. iPad Air is the ultimate iPad for students. Subscribe if I helped you out, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.